Hello, homies. Big news has hit the timeline. This is a couple of days ago, but I still needed to cover it because of my experience as a coach and so forth. Sources. Riot Games considers allowing coaches to communicate mid-game in competitive LoL. So basically, first it came out as a point that Caster June made on broadcast. It gained a lot of traction. And then, as a follow up, according to an email sent by Riot Games to professional teams and obtained by Sheep Esports, the company is exploring a rule change for 2026 competitive season that would permit one designated coach per team to communicate with players during limited windows of time in a live game. So basically, in terms of what the model would look like, there is very little like compact information. Basically, there's like people like in some games you have tech pauses. In shooters, of course, coaches talk between the rounds, which of course makes a lot of sense. In the past, in CS, you had coaches being able to talk during the entire game, where they would kind of serve a role as a shot caller within the game. But that, of course, eventually got changed to the point where you just could speak between the rounds. I love the change and I hate the change. I would love the change because if as a competitor, I do think that I would do super well with this, right? It's like as a player, I was always the one calling, and in general, how I watch games and basically like review scrims and watch scrims is through the lens of what would I do. I always like tie my thinking process to what the context of the team is, and I'm looking for those details from my players, and being able to give that push would be of course a very big deal. But I hate it because I think anything to disturb the flow of the game, anything in the form of a technical pause or anything, would be very bad for the game. In my mind, if you wanted to implement this, I think it would have to be in a variant similar to like a Formula One car, where basically I think you sometimes get those tidbits where you have the engineer speaking to the driver and you see that on broadcast, whatever. I think that aspect of it would be super cool. But the point I'm trying to make here is that I think it would only work in a world where coaches could choose when they communicate with their players and with their team, and it doesn't disrupt the game, it doesn't pause the game. Let's say you have a 15-second window where you can choose to communicate to your players within the game, and you can choose that freely wherever you are in the game. And that's just something that you have, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It's like a lifeline that you can use within the game. I think that could be cool, you know? I think it would enhance the viewer experience if they could hear coaches live, like during those moments of input. And it would be fun if we had like a Ferrari situation where the comms are completely useless, or let's say like a coach steps in and talks and says the complete wrong thing, and the players are like, "Shut the hell up! Shut the fuck up! We don't need this now." It's the missed time. There's so much opportunity here to cause harm. If you do this wrong, you can definitely, cause a lot of harm to a team. And at the same time, it's an opportunity for coaches to show off more of their skill sets. It's like already with the addition of Fearless, coaches are being measured more and more. We could see like the standouts at this tournament, like a score or like a home for top esports, or even like T1 in terms of how cohesive they were, 4-5 in terms of their drafting. And there's clear outlines of the impact of coaches being more and more evident. It's like there was a lot of discussion surrounding, of course, Genji as a team, like in terms of what the impact would be of the coaching staff. I think from Riot's side, I think that they need to chase interesting ways of keeping things fresh, which I think is very cool. I like in that context, Riot making sure that League is fresh and interesting, especially in terms of how much of an attention span people have and how much media you can actually consume, and how easy it is to move on from one thing to another and never come back. It's like Fearless, we got excited, now we're used to it, now we need something new to keep us interested. Like I can imagine it's like the tidbits. It's like if this is something that is deployed globally and we're just watching a game, waiting for the input of the coach, like that idea in itself sounds so entertaining to me. Like let's say one team is getting turbo stomped and the coach is like, let's say you have an LPL coach who's like giga pissed and he's just flaming his players because he thinks they're going to react to that. Or let's say like a coach who just says some dumbass shit that doesn't make any sense. Or let's say you have a coach that just says some goated shit, and then suddenly like the team turns around and they figure it out. Like it really adds a layer of entertainment that is really, really interesting. But I hope it has nothing to do with things that pause the game. I really think that problem would be really, really bad. I really, really don't think they should ever give coaches the ability to pause, because I think it would ruin the flow of the game, and I think the gain of it would just be whatever. I don't think it would be interesting enough. So I hope it doesn't get to that point. But I do think more ways of testing the coaches. It's crazy that we are here. We're at the point in time where we're considering comms for coaches in the middle of a game, but we still don't have voice comms in, of course, League of Legends solo queue, which is too hilarious for me. And I think if this rolled out, it would be a massive shift for, of course, the competitive landscape. So it would be very intriguing and interesting to see how teams and coaches specifically adapt. Are you going to have a situation where, former players are going to have this role of being able to be like communicators? Or will you just have the head coaches get information from everyone and then they coordinate together in terms of what information they want to, of course, part to their players? And it adds a very, very unique layer of strategy to, just on-game, in-game coaching and the process of competing as a whole. So I think it's intriguing. I think Riot needs to keep us on our toes and keep it interesting and find new ways to make the product engaging. And I do think that this would succeed in that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I hope it just doesn't come down to pauses. Like it's interesting. Like if this comes into the game, this changes, skill sets that are important and less important. Like WASD, if it's implemented in the game. There was the other rambling about League 2 being released. Like these are all things that could definitely happen because Riot, of course, are very fortunate that they don't have big competitors in the esports space besides mobile games, of course. But you also need to understand that, like, at the point in time where there's a tipping point where things, go south, the death of the game can be very, very rapid. So you need to, of course, keep it interesting, keep it fresh, and maybe for 1 year it's going to be super interesting, and then the next year they need to implement something new. They always need to keep on our toes and make the years unique from one another so people have reasons to tune in. Luckily, people were talking about how T1 winning worlds is a problem. I think T1 winning worlds for the economy of the game is something that is really, really good. And maybe you can argue that like LPL winning something would be helpful to revive the region, but I think T1 being such a pull for viewership at worlds is super, super clutch. Like I think that's super, super important, because the moment like T1 is out of the picture and Faker is out of the picture, we will feel some insane pain, because T1 and Faker is something that offers continuity to fans, which of course is a massive plus, which is of course a really, really big deal and a good thing. And finally, I think the main problem, if anything, is the fact that I think that Riot just needs to do a better job of selling the other aspects of the tournaments that are being played, like MSI or LCK and LPL, and of course LEC. It just seems like there's budget cuts over there in terms of how big the venues are and how big the stuff is, because like even this year in the LCK we had a situation where there was no spring finals, which is crazy to even consider. I wonder if there's a way for them, because I've noticed with Riot, it's like in terms of the videos they are pushing, it's like, think about the TFT commercial or the new Zinzao. It seems like they're capable of pushing out cinematics a lot faster. And I wonder if there could be a world where, like MSI would have like an official song, the same way Worlds does, with some kind of story. Or maybe there is more stakes because it's like you win your team like skins as well. Maybe there's ways to make sure that the other aspects of the year, of course, are deemed valuable to the community. Because, of course, I agree. Worlds is the big deal. It's the biggest tournament. It's super, super important. But I do think that you kind of need to extract the momentum and the power of Worlds and let that bleed into other things too. And I think that you can do so with some of those tools. But I talk about all of this because I'm thinking actively about where will the longevity of League of Legends take us? How long do we have? And will there be decisions along the way that Riot can make that make League of Legends explode? We will see. We will see. For now, they release Riftbound, which is a very, very good way of pushing the League universe forward. I think the League IP is simply amazing and astonishing, and I think this has a lot of potential. I'm super excited to open this box, but that will happen on, of course, my second channel. With that being said, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, and all the best to you.